Well, let the Brachot and the Brachat of Yahuwah be upon everyone. I greet you in the Shem of Yahuwah and his Ben Yahushua HaMashiach, our Mashiach. I greet you today. I just want to come before the Father and a perfect greetings to all the Tamadim and all the Mishpoka of the house of Yesharel, all the Mishpoka that are a part of the Goy and the Goyim that are coming in to the house of Israel. I greet you now in the Shem of Yahushua Mashiach. Thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate you and welcome you to tuning in to the broadcast this Yom. If you're watching this by pre-recorded DVD or listening by CD, or you're watching this live by stream on a Shabbat or on any other day of your Shabbat or fellowship. If you're showing this by a stream of people together, or you're watching live and you have a group of people, I greet everybody in the room in the Ruach HaKodesh, and I pray for the presence of the Ruach HaKodesh upon everybody in that room right now, that the same anointing that's in this room will be present with you in that room, and the presence of his anointing of the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuwah and Yahushua Mashiach will be manifested and felt. And if anybody has infirmities, that the Brachat and the Brachot of the Baruch of Yahuwah will be upon you, and you'll be touched in the Shem of Yahushua HaMashiach. Amen and amen and amen. This is going to be a remix of something I did last Shabbat because of some, we had some sound problem. Actually had some sound problem. That was the first day of starting up our new studio. And how you like the studio? We have a picture in the background here of a picture of the background of the true borders of all of Amman, Jordan, all of Jordan, as well as Iraq over here, and praise Yahuwah, and all the borders all the way down to Egypt, which was given up after one of the wars of Israel defending themselves. But we want to claim and possess the promises of Israel, that they have the authority according to Torah to take what rightfully belongs to them in the end part, in the end days, in the end of times. It's going to be returned when Yahushua sits on the right hand of the throne as the Moshiach, and every knee shall bow and every tongue confess that he is Moshiach, Yahushua, our Yahuwah. Hallelujah. Praise Yahuwah. Now, so as we begin to start this, we had a sound problem, so I want to be able to go back, and we're going to redo the stream. I'm going to delete the other one. So if you watch the other one, this is a new one. I'm going to be sharing you some things about the understanding and revelation of being Bracha, Baruch, the Brachat, the Brachot, and the Barak, and the Braki of Yahuwah. I want to share these things to you because when I was in Jerusalem, I was using a lot of words I learned in the Hebrew classes from the United States, and the phonetic sounds are a little bit different. I recommend you, if you can download through a PDF file or buy it from the students of the arts of your students of the arts of the Orthodox Jewish Bible, which helps you learn the proper words and the phonetic sounds of the words with Latin letters to help you to be able to present them properly. On this teaching I'm going to share with you today, I just want to share a little bit like right here. Take, for instance, this. This is I made a copy of a little booklet that I used to use when I was in Israel. I have this little booklet I keep in my pocket, in my vest pocket, and I pull it out, and if I talk to the Ashkenazi or the Sephardic, the Sephardim, or the Falasha Hebrew Israelites, I end up writing my little notes, and I color code them and everything else, and I put the Hebrew numbers and everything else. And we're going to go through this a little bit, but I want to talk to you from the heart and let you know that one of the reasons why I want to share this with you, because people say, You know, I have videos. I have a video right here. I have a video, as you can see right here on this video, of the words of Barak, Brachot, Brachat, versus the spirit of the divination spirit of the word bless, blessing, or blessed, which is a Catholic Latin word, 100% Catholic Latin. And we have a problem of people, even the Ashkenazi, even in Israel, if they're doing it in English, they have a trouble of, they continue to use that word, bless, blessed, or blessing, not knowing this is a 100% Catholic word. 100% Catholic word. And I want to show you some information on that. And it's very important that we correct our tongue and clean our tongue. It is not a pagan deity. All right. Bless, blessed, blessing is not a pagan deity, but it is a word that's used for ritual. Okay. It's a ritualistic word. And as you can see on the screen here today, right now, I have the word blood, ritual. All right. For it's blodosin, for blessing, blessed, or bless. Okay. And among the, as you could read it here in the Germanic tribes of the Norsemen, of the Saxons and the Norsemen, blood was used during their sacrifices. The blood was considered to have the power of its, you know, sacrificial, the one that was sacrificed, the one that was slaughtered, on the altar of the butchery. The blood was sprinkled on the walls and on the statues of their mighty ones, and on the participants, the people that were there, the participant. This is very similar to what, you know, when they used to get the lamb and do the sacrifice of the lamb, and they take the blood, part of the blood, and put it on the horns of the altar. But we don't eat the blood or drink the blood in the understanding of Torah. But what they did was they drank and they eat the flesh of human beings or children. And then they would, and as you can see here, as you continue to read here, they put it on themselves. This actually sprinkling blood was called blodosin. It means the blood ritual. In Old English, and the terminology was borrowed by the Roman Catholic Church, becoming to bless or blessing. The other part, I should have made a copy and made the other part too, is when you make the sign of the cross. When you make the sign of the cross, you end up showing the blood ritual. That's the sign of the cross too. And the same information I gathered, this historical information that I posted here right now, this is just a piece of it. If you want a full 2 pages of the information of the word bless, blessed, blessing, of the blood ritual, blood or blodosin or blots, and they do the sign of the cross, and that's another symbol of the benediction of what they call the sign of the blessing, all right, in Catholicism. So if you're not a Catholic, if you're a Christian, if you are a Messianic, if you're a Hebrew, if you're an Israelite, or somebody that's showing you this video because you're Jewish, you're Yehudi, and they're still using these words based on the Catholic or Apostolic Catholic Church, you are borrowing their blood ritual that they borrowed from the Norsemen and the Saxons, the Anglo-Saxons and the Norsemen, and the blood ritual that goes back to the Canaanites and on and on and on, of the counterfeit, of generic counterfeit, trying to mimic the original of the sacrificial lamb that was posted on the doorpost, that the death messenger will pass by, and then eventually was put on the horns of the altar and placed there. And then we had the lamb chops, and the high Kohanim, Zadok Kohanim would do the sacrifice and then get partakers a portion of it and serve it to the people that brought the sacrifice. So we would eat the partaking of the sacrifice of a clean offering of the lambs. I call it lamb chops, barbecue lamb. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you because many people are going around still in the Messianic or in the Hebrew Israelites or even in the Yehudi, and they're saying bless. Excuse me, I'm going to say these words, but I'm saying it only to describe the contamination of it. You know, in the scriptures, they when Eliyahu went against the prophets of Baal, they were using the words and spelling the words even in the Tanakh. So, and also in the other books of the other writings of Yasher, or the book of Jubilee, or the book of Enoch. So we're describing it, only describe it to put it down. So in the word God, good in Anglo-Saxon, in gut in German, which I'm going to show you, pronounced good or God, written Gad. It's spelled Gad, but it's don't misunderstand it for the Gad of the tribe of Yasharel, because it's a different understanding. But it's from Hebrew number 1408, a Babylon deity of fortune, Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. No wonder our money has the phrase in God we trust. So, and that's on Isaiah 65:11, and also if you go to Enoch 69:6, you will see that I think it's the fourth or the fifth fallen one, the reptilian one that tempted Eve in the garden, was the mighty one Goriel. Okay, it has a strong cough sound. So when we're saying the word God, it is not a title, it is the deity. I have a video on stream on YouTube on my archives of HaRuachEliyahu channel, EliyahuChannel.com. I have a video on stream as well as on EaglesHavenMinistry.com that shows the difference of the don't mention the name of these mighty ones, these words. So you can watch that video, go back and watch that video. It's only 23 or 33 minutes or something like that. And I show more pictures and pictorials and definition of the understanding of the mighty one God, Gut or Godiel. In Hindi or in India, or the Buddhists or the Hindus, they say Godi. The Tibet monks, it's a Khoudi or something like that. So there's like 8 ways of spelling it. It could be more depending on the different languages, but the phonetic sound is still there. The God, they say God today. And if you want a copy of PDF of that information, just go ahead and email me at eagleshavenministry@yahoo.com, and then I will ask the request of this particular topic. Okay? But here, as we look here, we see the mighty one on the dollar bill. Now, let me pull this up first. And in the middle of the bill, it says, in good we trust, the deity of money and fortune. And what they used to do, as we showed in the early part of that pictorial, they used to get the children, hang them upside down in the tree, and when they hang them upside down in a tree, they would bleed them out. They would blodosen. They would bleed them out. That's the blessing, the blood, bless, blot, blessing, blodosen. Bleed them out. That's what the word means. So they would bleed them out, put them in a bowl, and then turn around and take the child and roast it to ashes, and then take the blood and mix the blood. Now, some of the sacrifice, if it was dealing with the Canaanites, or we're talking about Baal worship, or the Dagon or Moloch or whatever, they sacrificed their babies to the fire, and then they partake of the sacrifice. Just like we partake of Pesach, Passover, and eat the lamb and the food, they partook of the sacrifice for prosperity, fame, and money in that particular kingdoms or sovereignties of that leadership of the Dagon or by Moloch or the deities that they worship, and the ancient Canaanites that worship God as well, and Godi. So now, in the same way, they put it on the dollar bill. This mighty one, if you say God bless, you're saying the blood ritual for money and fortune of the mighty one, God, of the blood ritual of human sacrifice. That's why we have the military complex of sacrificing, going into war and battle unlawful wars of battles without asking Father in the prayer. It's called unlawful war and battle. That's why we still have abortion, regardless if it's Republican or Democrat. And there's abortion continues because the blood rituals and the cursing of blood, getting blood and putting it in a cursing dish and turning around and producing sweeteners and putting it in food and water. Food and sodas and serving it. And McDonald's and other restaurants are guilty of these products of putting all kinds of things in the bread, in the meats, and the foods. And we don't eat, unless you are really watching what you eat and staying away from the store-bought, what they call the fast food restaurant food, that's the only way to stay clean, because they're doing a blood ritual, and then they get us to eat the food and drink the drink. And when you do that, what's happening is you are doing what they call unconscious sin, according to Leviticus. Now, we can ask forgiveness of the Father by his favor, unmerited favor, to ask forgiveness for unconsciously, unwittingly throughout the day, in the water, the food, and the air we breathe, because they're also finding in the chemtrails residue of foreign human blood that's not the same DNA of our human blood. So now in this picture you see Anud Akopis Nueves Oro Suclio, announcing the new order. Okay, so this is on your dollar bill with that word in God we trust. They trust. Now here it is. You're saying blood, God. Bless God. All these Christians. Excuse me for saying it, but I'm just giving you a description to show you. Okay? And here it is, an example of the Illuminati putting in God we trust on a ring on their finger of the Masons, secret societies. But I want to let you know this, that before this was on the dollar bill, it was somewhere else, because this didn't become on the dollar bill in God we trust. And then you have the artwork of the transition of the change, announcing the new order with the all-seeing eye and the pyramid of the Illuminati. But before that, there was the Nazi Germanies. Nazi Germans were a part of the Illuminati and the sect of all the cultists of the hexagon, the hexagon, the different pointed stars and rituals. But this is a belt buckle. This is the belt buckle on the German Nazis of the SS, and this says Gott mit uns, which means in God we trust. That's right. And before it was on your dollar bill, before it became on your dollar bill, it was on their belt buckles. When we won the war, they turned around and put it in our money after 1945, 46, 47, 48 or something. You can check out the dates. There's some mixture of the accuracy of the date when it was put on the money. Now here's a belt buckle of the common soldiers, all right, with a multi-cross, and that's called 8 points of the Cruz, or 8 point of the multi-cross. Knights Templar, Rosicrucian, other cults have this, but this is Gott mit uns also. In God they trust. Now, I don't trust in this mighty one. This is not a title. This is not saying the word shepherd, pastor. This is not saying the word father, mother, dad, leader. This God is a mighty one from ancient times. All right? It is the deity of fortune. And it was on their belt buckles. And then they turn around and put it on our money. This mighty one they call Gut or Gott. Now, the Gott, G-O-T-T, was first used is a German word, Gott. But in Anglo-Saxon of Great Britain, they used the word good or good, and that was G-O-D-D. And even when you say the word gospel, you're saying the word, because if you look at the original King Imus from 1604 that had the original first 150 copies is 1604, and it had they made 150 copies for editing purpose, and they had to rewrite it, and then 1611, and then 1620 something, 1636 or so, 37. They had to do a lot of changes. They used to say Goddspell. God spell, the German mighty one spell, because it was part of the translation that was of the Geneva translation that was adapted a part of the King Ives. That was one of the translations they used of Martin Luther of the Geneva translation. So now here we are saying these words. We're speaking these words, these pagan words, out of our mouth, and you don't even realize what you're saying. You're saying the blood prosperity ritual of the mighty one of Godd or Gott. Okay, and it goes back to the ancient Canaanites, because that was the picture I just showed you in Isaiah. All right, so now this is my little booklet. As you can see in my little booklet here on the far left, I got a little E lifted up, because this is what happened. When I was down there and I'm traveling, I'm meeting people, I would say Berekah or Berekat or Berekot, and I would use the phonetic E word letter, which I'm going to show you in the Strong's 1288, which the Strong's Exhaustive Concordance Dictionary did the best they can, and we use it as a good tool. There's other good Hebrew tools, especially in Paleo Hebrew. But when we first started off, this is the elementary stage we did. So I whited it out and scribbled it out, and I made the E's high and small. It does not have a phonetic arch like a little A-frame house arch on there on top of the E, making an E sound like you say with Yahushua or Yahuwah. Okay, it has an E too, but it has an arch mark on top, making it an A and a strong A sound. And so from then on, I took the E out, because I'm going to show you why. So when you say the word blood, it's actually Bracha or Barak. Okay, 1288 is the root, 1289 on the right is Barak, and I'm going to show you the difference of the words. If you say blessings, the blodosin, with more like an act, it was 1293 in the Hebrew, but it's Brachat, it's masculine. If I say blessings, it's Brachot, it's feminine, because ot is the feminine, women produce, so it's the feminine. All right, so now, also, if you look at blessed, Baruch, 1288 as well, and Barak, para ata, that would be part of 1288 as well. Now, Baraki is bless him, extension, fortunate, or well off. We use that word, but Frank got a new job, he's got good pay, the father's really berekot him, and he has the Baraki, extension, fortune of Yahuwah upon him. But also when I'm worshiping and praising the Father, I'll say Barakin, and that would be familiar with Psalms 34:1, Telehim 34:1, or Deuteronomy 33:11. It's only 2 times you can find the word bless him in the King James or some translation, bless him, but it's really Braki Yahuwah. Braki Yahuwah. Some translations bless the Lord, but the does not exist. That's a filler word. So that would be Braki Yahuwah. So it would be instantly Braki Yahuwah. And I'm going to show you these different words. And Braki is extended fortune. It is a part of 1288. A lot of things, the root word is 1288, and it's branched out. Okay? So I just wanted to let you know that. Now this word here that I'm showing you in front of you right now in Hebrew, in modern Aramaic Hebrew, is Brachot. Brachot, they say Berekot as well. Okay? They'll say Berekot. When you look it up in the King James, they'll have the E there, but the E does not exist, which I'm showing you right here, right now. This is Hebrew number 1293. And you see the letter Kaf, the letter Resh, and then you got that's Kaf with a K sound. And then this is Kaf. My P didn't go all the way out there with the PH. But this is the first letter Kaf. Then you got Kaf, Kaf, and Kaf Sofi at the end of a letter, which we'll see right now in a little while. Then you got Vav. Some people say the letter Vav. Some people say the letter Wa. Wa is more Anglo-Saxon. Ashkenazi. Vav came from the Catholic Church. They started developing like Jehovah, that word which we don't use, but the Vav is more of a modern Germanic, and if you put the dot on top, the dot makes an OH sound. So it's Brachot, 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 Kot. The U, the Vav, the Wa, when you put the Da, goes away, and the dot on this letter on the letter Vav, turns it into an OH sound. And then the last letter is Tav. So this is Berechot, Brachot, Brachot. So in the proper way, when you're in Israel, you don't say Berechot, you say Brachot. Brachot. I brachot you, or may Yahuwah brachot you. Okay, it's brachot. Another way to look at it is this way right here, and it's the same, but it's masculine. It's bracha. Now I left the E there, but I'm still showing you. Like the other one had 5 letters, all right? This one has 4 letters, and it is a vet, resh, kaf, he. So the dot turns bet into a vet sound. Aleph, vet, bet. All right? So now, and the double dot on the bottom brings it into an EH soft sound. So it becomes bracha, 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 bracha. I know it sounds like B, like brothel, or it sounds like B sound, right? But it's a vet. It's the letter vet, but when you put the dot, it's bet with the B, with the dot in the middle, turns it into a vet. And then the bottom is EH sound. Now, this little T letter, like this, the deformed partial T phonetic sound, is called an ahard sound. All right? And then again, the ahar sound with the kaf. And then you got the he for the bracha, bracha, bracha. We're going right to left. Bracha, bracha. And that's Hebrew number 1293. Okay? Here's another one right here, and this is Baruch. We use this word Baruch, and it's also the 1288, the root word, and I'm going to show you in Strong's a little bit of it, but it's also used for 1288 for blessed, okay? And so we say Baruch is Yahuwah, or the Aaronic, we would say, ironic, you wouldn't say Aaronic Baruch, it would be the Aaronic Berechot, the Baranic Berekat. Okay? So, but this is Baruch, and this is 1288. As you can see, this is 4 letters. Is there an E there? No, there's not an E there. There's no E there. There's no E over here or E sound. And what I mean by E sound is when you get an aleph and put 2 dots underneath it. All right? Like take, for instance, in my name, Eliyahu. My name, Eliyahu, okay? This is an aleph. Now, some people, when they correspond me, they say Eliyahu, okay, which is correct. That's correct Hebrew. It's A-L sound, okay? It's Eliyahu, Eliyahu, okay? So now, as you look at the dot, 2 dots side by side, make it a A-Y sound, the ayi sound. Turns aleph into an E sound, ayi. Eli, Eliyahu. Eliyahu. The Vav, when you put a dot in the middle, like when we say Yahuwah or Yahushua, a dot will be in the middle, and that turns the Vav of the modern Hebrew phonetic charts, because in Paleo-Hebrew, there was no Vav, there was no Wa. In the original Hebrew that Moshe came down from the mountain with the 10 Commandments, there was no Vav and no Wa sound. It was the U. This letter, Vav, was the U sound. Okay? So there's Aleph. Aleph got 2 dots. It makes Eliyahu. Eliyahu. Would you say Eliyah Vav? Eliyah Wa? No, it's Eliyahu. Everybody, you get rid of these dots in Israel, people will still say Eliyahu. When I write it, and I have a beanie that has Eliyahu on it, and it has these letters, and it has no dots. But people, when I go into synagogue, a certain place, they, hey, Eliyahu. They know how to read Hebrew. They would see it, and it has no dots. They don't say. Now, they've been trained to say Eliyahu because of the dot training going to the schools, all right? The Hebrew, modern Aramaic Hebrew schools from Ben Yehuda from 1917, 1922. Now, but without the dots, it would be Eliyahu. Eliyahu. That would be more of my name, okay? So let's get back to here. As we can see here, you have Baruch. And Baruch has a dot turns bet into vet, remember? Then we got vet resh. And then we have Vav becomes U sound because there's a dot right here in front. So it becomes the U, like we say Yahuwah, Yahushua. Okay? Now the Kaf Sofi. Remember I was telling you about the letter Kaf. It has Kaf Sofi at the end of a letter. That's what they teach you in the Hebrew ABC classes. Okay? Double dot on top of each other makes a EH soft sound. EH soft sound. They might have a Hebrew word for it, but that's the way I wrote it down in my notes when I was going to school down there in Israel. So an EH soft sound. And it's 1288 as well. So we have Baruch. There is no E here. There is no Aleph with two dots making an E. For some reason, they did it. They started to write it. Here is Bere, let's see how we're going to do this. Berekot. Also, this is without the help of it. This is Berekot. This is the feminine of what we would say in the English words that they would say prosperities or prospering, multiple or a large amount issuing out like a pool, mishing out. But it's the ot. It's Brachot. Brachot. And you would read it in Hebrew and see the letter E in it, and you say Berekat, but no, it's not Berekot, or Berekat is Brachot, 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 Brachot. Okay? So that is some of the help of the phonetic sound of it, of understanding that as we looked at it here. Okay? So, and this is the feminine, and this is more of this is the masculine, what they say blessing without an S, pluralism, Bracha, but you would also say Brachat. Okay? In some communication, you would say Bracha, and some communication, you would say Brachat. All right? You don't say Bereka or Berekat, because there is no Aleph with two letters, two dots between the vet and the resh. The bet and the resh. There is none. So, but they spelt it out in the Strongs. And in the Strongs, as we see here, see the little E at a high right here at 1293, Bracha, or Brachat, or Braki, it's Bra, Bra. Because we're reading it right to left for the vet resh, Kaf. So it's Bracha, Bracha. They put this, and when I was first learning out of the Strong's Hebrew Greek Concordance, just trying to inch my way into Hebrew Aramaic with this Strong's, believe me, it helped me the best I could. It would have a problem because I would say be. I wanted to pronounce the phonetic sound of the E, but in Hebrew the E is put high. It is silent. It has no arch mark line for low, medium, or opposite of a V like arch here or above the E, or even a arch like a shape A-frame house on top of the E. It's not there because if you put the A-frame phonetic arch on top of it, it becomes a sound. But it's just BR. It's the bet and the resh. Bracha, bracha. So it is a prosperity is the correct word. It's prospering, prosperity, or you're being prosperous. It's not this word that was added about 500-600 years later, the blodosin, the blessing. It is a present, prosperity, a pool to flow freely out from you, from one person to another, prosperously, favorably, giving it to somebody, a prosperity benediction, or a they say benediction even for the word blessing, because you can put the sign of the cross, okay, in the Catholic dictionaries. All right, so I wanted to show you that. If we go to 89, here's Bracha, Barak. Now in the Hebrew they got the bet, the resh, and then you got the kaf, Sophie in the end. So it's almost like when you say Tanakh, you got the T, you got the N, and you got the kaf for the Tanakh, and they put the A's in between it to phonetically sound the word Tanakh for the whole covenant scriptures. The first covenant of scriptures after the Torah. All right, and a lot of people say Torah, and sometimes I'll slip and say Torah, but it's really Turah, because the arch mark is after the O, so it's Tu and then Ra, Turah. All right, Turah. So this is Baruch, 1288, and it's a form of kneeling down and praying. It's a Chaldean type of Aramaic Hebrew. This one, of course, is the root word we get all of them from, 1288. To kneel, to Brachot, Yahuwah, adoration, a benefit, favor. They even got treason and curse, because if you give your barak and you fall out fast like lightning, and you give your barak, I know like there's a way to spell it, Barack, like this president of the United States. That's more like lightning fall from the sky. It's a form of Aramaic type of barak, and instead of the barak we see here with just a K, because with some people would write a CH for the letter Kaf, Sophie, or just put a K for a hard case. Okay? So it's benefit. And if you start saying Barak to some other person or mighty one, you are actually cursing yourself, and you're cursing the sovereign of the universe. You're committing treason, because you're giving your full Barak or your full Baruch to something else beside Yahuwah. Your Baraki to something else beside Yahuwah. So it becomes a blasphemy. All right, so we praise him, we salute him, we thank him, we kneel down, and that's where that's the root word, as you can see here. Okay, that's the root word. That's our root word, the primitive root. All the other words I'm showing you come from that root of that word. All right, so now we must come to an understanding and a revelation that we're not going to do this no more. We're going back to the ancient paths. We're learning the true language of many of us are even going past the Aramaic Hebrew and going back to the root of the alphabet and the phonetic sounds, and each letter meaning, pictorial meaning of each Hebrew letter of the Aleph and Tav, of the true meaning. And we're going back to the root ancient paths in the Shem of Yahushua Mashiach. So I pray that you get this revelation of it. I pray that you come to the understanding and the revelation of what we need to come out and get the fullness. Now, so we'll no longer be calling on that mighty one that everybody else is calling on for these fake tithes and offerings. They're not even connected to the feast. Even some of them are trying to connect it to the feast, the Hebraic feast, in a different calendar, and they're trying to get still tithes and offerings in that way, and fleecing people in a wrong way. But if you do that, you're connected. You're still connected to the Roman Apostolic Catholic Church, okay? And all the harlot daughter that were prostituted out children that came out from them, which they call Christianity today, Okay, that's a morph word from the Greek word Christi. Okay, there's no such word. That's a morph word. Christian, Christianity are all morph words. Okay, they were not in the original Greek text, which would be just Christi, meaning anointed ones. All right, so now you're either a part of it or you're coming out. Are you being grafted into the house of Yisrael? Are you coming in and being grafted in, or you found out who you are? Like I found out who my ancestors are I already knew from my father's side, growing up in a Jewish community in Los Angeles, but on my mother's side as well, how the father put a divine connection together of them coming together and being married, and my mom coming from the Amaya family, Amaya or Yah, depending of what tribe. And there's some that went to Japan, and so in the early 1900s and after the war as well. I mean, during the war, World War II with Germany, as well as the Amayas that came off the boat in New York. Okay, in 1700, leaving and fleeing Spain, the Anisim, excuse me. So we are coming out and we're being grafted in, and we're coming to know the true names and the true words of our ancestry. And we're walking in the fruit of the Ruach HaKodesh, and we have bowels of compassion, of love, to want to know more of what our ancestors and my fellow brothers in the Middle East, our Israeli brothers that are there, and how they pronounce and phonetically sound the words. Now, it's a distinct difference when you speak Israeli from the ones that are homegrown there in Israel, or the ones that went there later with Aliyah. They went there in Aliyah either 100 years, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, or whatever, and they're using the Germanic lexicon phonetic charts of Ben Yehuda from 1917, 1922. They started the first Upan schools, the Shivot schools of teaching Hebrew language. But when you're speaking, when I'm around these people and I'm speaking the Israeli language, or I'm asking, I want to know how to say it of the original language, the way you learned it in your ancestors. Some of these people come from Iraq, they come from Lebanon, they come from Yemen, they come from Jordan. These are Israelites that some have been there for hundreds of years. Some have fled there in late 1800, early 1900, even before all these things took place. But we're learning our right ruling. We're coming to the right ruling, and we don't want to confess no more. We don't want to say bless God no more. We don't want to say blotz, the blood ritual of the money and fame and fortune of money on that dollar bill. We don't want to do that no more. We don't want to be partakers of this secret society and what they're building up in the God they trust. They trust on that mighty one, on that dollar bill. And this is what they're announcing, the new world order that's on that dollar bill with that word God right beside it. And just remember that those Nazis, those SS that massacred thousands of millions of people, gypsies, as well as Yehudi, the millions of Yehudi, but gypsies, African-American, Christians, Catholics, as well as all forms of Yehudi and all forms of Polish people and others that were not giving in to the propaganda of this occult that was going on, this 8-pointed cruz, okay, that's very popular in the Catholic Church, all right, and the reincarnation symbol of the swastika, all right, and its octagon images that are in between all the swastika. When you put it all in a certain box of squares, you can see the octagon in it. So we were coming out of this stuff. We're not partakers of this stuff no more, and we're not no more speaking the prosperity. We're not speaking the prosperity no more. We're not. We're not going to speak the prosperity of this mighty one, this fame and fortune Canaanite ancient deity that has come over and crossed over. We're coming out of it, and we want to have the Brachot of Yahuwah upon us, and we want to come out of it. And look up Enoch chapter 69:6, and look at the phonetic sound of that reptilian fallen one that tempted Eve in the garden. There's not just the word Lucifer is a Catholic word. As a matter of fact, one time I said the word Lucifer in a synagogue with some people, and they said, what and these were Yehudi Israelites barely could speak English. They said, who's Lucifer? What's that? And somebody said, oh, that's the Catholic way of saying HaRuachEliyahu. They knew who HaRuachEliyahu is. They knew that mighty one, that false mighty one, that fallen principality. All right? So we're coming out of it, and we're walking in the fruit of the Ruach Kadosh, and we're going to walk in it and serve the Father with all our heart and soul and learn how to say, I'm not going to say GODBLESS to anybody, because that means I am speaking the blood ritual prosperity that is a principality power. When you do blood witchcraft, blood ritual, they have the spirit of luck. Luck is right under Lucifer in the dictionary. It used to be directly under it as a lucky charm spell from the evil one to people. Okay, it's a lucky charm, like a lucky spell, and but it is a part of enchantments and invoking prayers of the what they call the satanic blessing. I can use it that like that, satanic blood ritual. But even in certain Wicca or pagan worship, they do blood rituals. They cut themselves. People drink the blood. They're doing the blots or the blodosin. And how in the world we can tell our fellow brothers that are of Yahuwah, made in the image of Yahuwah, and we're saying GODBLESS. It's like when I went to that store and the lady kept saying GODBLES, welcome to Walmart. And I told her, lady, you speak German very well. She said, what? I'm speaking English. No, you don't, ma'am, because most of English is Germanic phonetic sound of German. And Gott is a German word or Anglo-Saxon word, and blood, and blodosin is part of the blood ritual of that deity, of the blood ritual of that deity. So they can get the blood ritual, and then you get the ashes and mix the blood with the ashes of the corpse of the baby, and then they put the sign of the cruz on their head. And the cruz, you think when they have Ash Wednesday that it is the sign of the cruz, the cross of their Savior Jesus. No, it is the sign of the blood ritual. It is the blood ritual on the weeping for their children, the blood ritual of putting it on their forehead, the ashes with the blood mixture. And you know, I did an investigation one time. I wanted to find out when I was actually walking in the Christian community, in the Messianic community, and I asked a friend that was a Catholic. I said, hey, so does the Catholic Church still got those old burners in the backyard where they burn the trash and they make the ashes? And he started laughing. He says, oh no, the ashes come from the Vatican. So I started doing a research and found out that they delegate the ashes from headquarters all the way down from each country, and each country archbishop and bishop, all the way down to the cardinals, and all the way down to the priest and the deacons, to distribute it, to prepare for Ash Wednesday. So you really don't know what's going through those ashes when they put it on your head. They're doing the mark of the Tammuz. Okay, the mark of the sacrificial blood ritual of babies and ashes on the forehead, and that gives you the prosperity blodosin blessings from that ritualistic, we call curse, but they call blessing, to give their Catholic parishioners their prosperity in their form. So you see, in Christianity, we lived in a box. Tremendously in a box. You know, we think that we don't realize there's many spirits. There's spirits operating in the Tibet months. There's principalities operating there. I got pictures and images of them casting out demons and laying hands on the sick. Tibet monks, the Dalai Lama. I got pictures of Muslims laying hands, casting out demons and laying hands on the sick. There's one in Afghanistan right now. They calling him the anointed one, the Messiah, the Christo Spiritu that's come upon him of the Imams. He's becoming very popular in Afghanistan. He's not a radical. He does performance of miracles and healings. And we in Christianity, we think that we got it in a box, and we don't. Or should I say they don't, because I'm not a Christian. I am actually a Hebrew Israelite of the house of Ephraim ben Yosef. So I'm a Yehudi. And so, but we believe in the Mashiach and the Ruach Kadosh anointing. But the word spirit Espiritu. It's actually a word used only for human being spirit, demons, fallen angel spirits, unclean spirits of sicknesses and infirmities, and dabuk, ghost spirits. In Hebrew we say dabuk. So but from the Father it's the ruach, his breath. It's no relation to our human spirit, or a spirit of life in an animal, or a spirit in a demon, or a fallen angel, or whatever. It has nothing to do with that. So when you're praying to the Holy Spiritu, you're praying to you go online and you put September Festival Holy, and you will go right to India, and it's a very big festival, popular, and they have orgies, they have drugs, the alcohol, they party, they throw all these colors, and so you're calling on the Holy Spirit. You're calling on the Holy Spiritu instead of the Ruach HaKodesh. We need to renounce those unclean things, works of darkness, and put on, and come out of those things, and put on the true garments of Yahuwah and Yahushua, the true understanding of putting on his clothing, of his prayer shawl, or putting on the prayer covering, his wrap his wings around us, and to renounce all those pagan words of unfruitful works of darkness, and renounce them, and put it down, and say, Father, forgive me for saying those things and confessing those words of GODBLESS, or saying those words of Holy Spiritu. You see, when you get out of your box and you realize, when I was a chaplain at Rikers Island, and I was a chaplain, I had a chaplain for all the sects of religion, Islam, you name every religion that exists, the people come in, I had a chaplain. And I seen the magic shows, I seen the performance, and I started researching and finding out that all the things they do that are similar to the ways of Roman Apostolic Catholic Christianity, and some of the Orthodox Christianity too, from Greek or Catholicism. So I realized that they're performing magic shows and miracles, and they feel the presence of a spirit. When they're doing their rituals, when they're saying their prayers, when they're doing the sign of the benediction of the blodosin, the blood ritual, when they're doing it, they feel a presence. But it's not the Ruach of Yahuwah. It is the Holy Spiritu. It is a different spirit. I have a video teaching called Slain in What Spirit. Look it up on YouTube, and you'll get a better understanding of that word and those words. And it's sad that it's going into the Messianic, and even the Orthodox congregation are using, they say, the Aaronic blessings. Well, the reason they're doing that, because there was an agreement. The Ashkenazi, or the rabbinical Talmud oral law Jews, anywhere from 1800 and 1200, they was in and out, even though they were being persecuted, but there was times they weren't. They were agreeing with the Popa. They were agreeing with the guy they call the super high father. They call the Pope. Okay, they were agreeing with them before, and they added these words, and they're finding out that there's certain of the Talmud of the Kabbalism. They still do blood rituals. They're following Kabbal, the Kabbalism, Baal, B-A-A-L. They're following these, and they have mixture of Yah into it, all mixed up. So it's not just Christianity, it is also in a form of the Judaism, of the rabbinical Talmud, oral, Kabbal as well, and all their function of oral. They're getting away from from what's written by Moshe. So we need to come to that revelation understanding that it's all around us. It's mixture in the government, it's mixture with the Masons and the Shriners and the Jewish Masons and all these different occults. I have pictures of books of the Palestinian Islamic Mason books. They're in Islam as well. They're in Buddhism. They're in Hinduism. They're all over. They're spread out, and they infiltrated, and they put in all these words. When King Imus, the Great Britain came, and they came with the 13 colonies, and they would have Sunday school classes with the King Imus Version Bible. And all those generations are in the DNA of the people that they call themselves Christians or Messianics. Our ancestors have all that in their DNA. All that King Imus stuff in their DNA, which was an economical Bible. and there was better Bibles, better scriptures, should I use the word, not Biblos, better scriptures at that time. Even the Anabaptists had better translations. They had better translations, and they made this an economical paid by the government of King Amish, the son of Queen Mary of Scotland. All right. He was a political leader that came in and brought in. He wasn't a Protestant. He originally went to Great Britain as a economical uniforming the people. Okay, he was a phase in to bring in. And if you look in your King James Bible in the front preface, you'll see Alexander Gibbs in there, a guy that you'll see these Catholic Jesuit priests in the front pages of your preface, and they were Jesuit priests, and they said this was a great translation of unity. And you got to look at the original preface from the original King Amish, the very colorful Old English writing, and see these names and look at them up and research and see that you Protestants and you Baptists and you Christians are using Bibles that were part of the economical spy agents to bring in a translation, and all these pagan Illuminati codex words, the codex of what they call Alexandrius, the Codex Sinaiticus, these code words of what they call Latin Vulgate, the Latin Vulgate language that was mixture with the Geneva translation. So we need to realize this, that we've been speaking it. It's generation curses in our bloodline that have come in for years from the times of the King Amos, from the 13th colony, and also all Afro-Americans that were trained by this wicked people reading the King Amos version and being slave masters over human bodies, that people that were true Israelites being captive in the area of Yehuda and Nagira. And they were stealing them, kidnapping them, bringing them here and scattering them all over the world. The house of Yehuda, the house of Yehudi, they were scattering them and bringing them here. And it's in all generations it's been done like that. And so we have to understand this with all our hearts, that this King Amos Bible, I use it, I show it to people because I want to reveal to them. I use their preface, I use it, I have it right beside, and I show it when I do videos sometimes. And I want to show people, right, the truth of that translation, the codic. There's little code words of a capital N for the word name in the middle of a sentence, or W, way, or a capital GOOD, or why there's capitals in small caps and large caps, even in the middle of a sentence when there's no, and that's improper penmanship, okay? Even Noah Webster made a translation to correct the penmanship, but he was actually in 1800 going against the Mason Codex that's in that translation. So I pray that you receive something out of this, how we need to come out of that wickedness on that dollar bill and saying those blodosin words, and stop serving that master anymore. Stop saying it to one another because you're word cursing each other. That's what you're doing. And start saying the Brachot, the Brachat of Yahuwah. Start saying the Brachat. Start saying the Brachah. Start saying the Baruch. Start saying the Barak of Yahuwah. The Braki of Yahuwah. The Braki be upon Yahuwah. I love him. I worship him. I praise him. Now, before I close, I want to let you know, if you would like to have my pamphlet and any of my wife's music or any videos that of the topics, I send them free of charge. You can go online and you can see it here at Eagles Haven Ministry at yahoo.com at the bottom of the pamphlet. This is the replacement theology correction of the words. We're making null, void, and non-effect, as you see on the top right-hand corner. We're canceling replacement theos. Replace the gods. That's why I say replace theology. Replacement theology. Replacing the religion. Replacing the mighty ones. Theos is mighty ones. So it's the gods, the dioses. So we're replacing them. They were replacing them. It's not just Catholicism and the Protestants saying that the United States is New Jerusalem and the church replaced the house of Israel. No, there's more to the depth of that understanding of replacement theology. They have left out a certain portion because they don't want you to know that they're replacing even the languages of the correct clean words and replacing it with unclean words. So email me if you like this as well. Spread it out and share with it. I'm going to edit this and put it back on. So if it comes on and there's a little bit of editing, a few minutes, a few seconds, if I put it back on, you can go right back on with the same title and pass it around to other people. And look up the other one I have as well, the 32-minute one too, showing all the different words, understanding of blessed, blessing, blessed, and blood, the difference of the words with Baruch, Barak, and Brachot, as well as this one as well, showing you the visuals in Hebrew as well. So if you want to give a gift, you can go to eaglesavenministry.com and you can leave a gift on PayPal to replenish all the videos and the material we're spreading out, and the fuel and everything we do for the ministry here. It's to replenish it. We appreciate you for the gift, as well as to get the pamphlet or any videos, go to eaglesavenministry@yahoo.com and send me an email. Thank you for watching us at eaglesavenministry.com, at Yahoo, on Ustream, as well as EliyahuChannel.com and HaRuachEliyahu channel on YouTube.